This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. If you're interested in these products, check the links in the description.
Dessert dusting powders. In this video, we're talking about Nomeca's edible luster dusts. And before we get started, we want to say a big thank you to Nomeca for the free luster dusts, which we can always use more of. And so far, after using them a little bit, I gotta say, I'm enjoying them. They're a nice fine powder. They come in these cute little jars. It's 8 grams per jar, which is really nice. A lot of times when you get little jars of dust, it's only 2 or 4 grams, so this is a nice, generous size. It comes with a little screw top lid, which is fantastic. It actually has a little textured rim there that's easy to grip, right? And you can see when they come with a nice little seal, help keep all that powder down in there. And you can even see on the seal, oh, if I can get it to focus, there we go. It's got a nice little shine to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get some out. So we have some there, and then some for myself just to play with, right? And I'm gonna go ahead first and just do the first thing that I would normally do with the dust, which is just dry brush it. So I have some nice little firm squares of fondant. You could use gum paste, you can use these on royal icing and a bunch of other stuff, right? And I'm just gonna dry brush some on just to kind of check out its coverage. I'm gonna use a softer brush. And you know, how it goes on. So you can see it's a nice, light, fine powder that's going to give you some really nice shine, right? It's a nice subtle shine, which is what we expect from dry brushing on. And I'm going on white fondant. If you're looking to get a shine with a heavier kind of gold tone to it, you would want to use gold tone fondant or whatever you're dusting on underneath, and that then will show through and give you a more even overall gold coverage if you're dry brushing. Now, if you want more intense color, typically what I'm gonna do is mix that powder with a little bit of extract or alcohol. So think vodka, anything that's colorless and flavorless is a great option. And when we dry brush, you'll get a lighter coverage, right, with some shine. And when you paint, you're gonna get more solid coverage. I think I just need a little more dust. And depending on how much powder you mix in with your liquid, I got a little heavy-handed with my liquid, so we went a little thin. You'll get more sparse to more kind of opaque coverage with these. And sometimes it just takes more than one coat. But you can see already we have more shine there. Right, you can see that reflection. And if we want it to be more even, I just mixed a little more powder into my paint. It was just a little thin, right? Sometimes it just takes a little more powder than you think it is. And you can see you can get a nice, solid, even coat with just one coat, right? So dry brushing, if you want more subtle sparkle all over, or you want to do some gradients. And if you want more even, thicker, opaque coverage, I always use it as a liquid. Right? So overall, these are really nice powders. They gave me good coverage. You can see the different colors here. We have their silver, which is actually a little bit closer to what I would call a pearl, right? It only has the very light hint of kind of gray to it. So you can actually use it on items that are white to get a pearl coverage. Or if I use, say, gray fondant or gum paste back here, you would get that kind of nice silvery effect to it. But it gave us good coverage both using it as a paint and as a dry dust. The rose gold I really like because it's actually a really deep, intense kind of rose gold. This is our dry brush down here. It gave us really good coverage, and it's almost, I want to say, like a nice metallic kind of rust color, meaning that I can use it more diluted if I'm going to, say, go on top of a pink fondant or something like that to get a nice shimmery rose gold effect. But I can also use it as this deeper shade where it's almost like a beautiful rust. It's really great for a lot of those kind of like boho chic, bohemian kind of themes that have a lot of those rust tones in them. So it's actually a nice deep rose gold color, which I think is fantastic for these kinds of dusts because it means I can dilute them and make more subtle, lighter shades, but I can also use it as an intense color as well. Same thing with the bronze, right? It's a really nice bronze color. You can see it right as the dry dust on that side, and over here it's almost like a really deep, rich kind of aged bronze, meaning that again I can dilute it, get a nice lighter color, right? Still get that nice shine and good coverage, but it gives me more range because the colors themselves are pretty intense. The black came out nice as well. Since I'm on white, it's more of, I would call like a deep charcoal gray, right? So you get a nice coverage with the dust. It's good for things like shading if you want to create some dark areas, if you're looking to do kind of black, white, and gray scheme on a cake. But if I went on top of, say, black fondant or gum paste, we'd have that extra bit of coverage, the extra bit of color showing through from the background. And I can see you're going to get a nice, deep, shiny, metallic kind of black that would be fantastic. So overall, I like that this is kind of more, oh, there we go, get it up in focus, there. Nice kind of gunmetal gray color, because it means I can use it to blend, go on top of grays, go on top of blacks, go on top of whites, even thin it out with things like the silver to kind of adjust the color. And it's going to give me a nice range of shades, meaning it'll be a versatile thing that we can use. And then finally, the gold is a nice kind of, I would say, yellow tone, bright gold, which I think is fantastic, especially since this range of dusts comes with things like the bronze and rose gold and the silver that you can kind of mix together to get a more varied blend of different shades of gold. I think you can use this to make your kind of antique golds, those like Aztec, Egyptian shades where normally you would have to buy them all because they have these kinds of browns, rose golds, etc. And the silver, you can kind of blend those powders together to make your own little custom blends for your golds, which is nice. It'll allow you to get a lot of different tones, a lot of different effects, and they're in really nice sized jars. I like the way the powders go on. They give pretty good coverage. As both a dry and also as a wet paint. If you're doing the paints, make sure you use something that's clear and flavorless. If you're using an extract, just keep in mind that it's going to impart whatever flavor is in there and that you probably want to stay away from things like almond that have nuts in it, just as a precaution for allergies. I do like that these dusts are actually edible. A lot of the products that you get for lusters are just for decorative use only. These can actually be eaten, meaning if you do something like a buttercream that actually has butter in it, and you put it in the fridge and it's nice and firm, you can actually use these then to paint directly on the cake if you're quick with your work. So they give you a nice range of colors, good coverage, and you have some options decoratively that you don't have with all dusts, and that they are actually edible, and so you can use them on a few more things.
If you enjoyed this video and you'd like more about the cake decorating materials and equipment we use, or just some inspirational videos about cake decorating itself, you can follow us on Insta or YouTube at Cake Decorating School. If you'd like to know more about yearly membership and what it entails, you can go to www.cakedecorating.school.com for more information. And if you're interested in these products, you can check the links in the description.